Welcome back to 30-Day Qi Gong. Today we're going to be in lesson 12 and we're going to continue with much our same normal routine. So I'd like to focus a little bit today on some more meditation and sitting, and talk a little bit more about breathing and some of the other things that you can do to help relax. Okay, good. So we'll start as we do normally. Feet just over shoulder width apart, bend the knees slightly, hips slightly sunk, deep breath in. This movement is called gathering Qi. And it's a really great movement that you can just practice anytime you want to start. Also, you can do it as a transitional movement when you've moved between something like standing, or you close the end of a movement, especially if you've been doing something a little bit static. This will get everything moving again. It's also really good at the beginning for opening up the shoulders and the chest. With all the movements, you go at your own pace. So if my breathing is too fast or too slow, then you can adjust and go at the pace that you want to go. You breathe in as the hands come up and out as they descend. Just a couple more. Good, next one. Separate the hands, push apart, and come back together. Twist. Look at the top hand. Separate the hands, push apart a little bit, and back together. That's it. Just hold for a second, and the breath just holds slightly as you pull apart, and then come in. Breathe in as the hands come together, and then out and expand as they separate. Hold for a second, breathe in as the hands come together, out as they separate. Feel like the shoulder blades are pulling apart a little bit. Feel like the movement is originating in the body rather than the hands. Just one more each side. Good. Hands come together and down. Okay, and we'll do circling hands. Start with the left hand. Make a big circle like a dinner plate. Remember, it's the waist that's turning, right? The waist is turning. Boom, boom, waist is turning, right? Try not to sway back and forth. It's like I'm sunk down in the middle, and then that circle that's starting here, this circle that's here, is what's making the hand move. Go a little bit slower. Let the movement happen in the ankles as well, all the way through the body, from the center, spreading out to everything. And then I just direct the hand to follow that movement. Good, other hand takes over. Big circle. Come in. Okay, so you've got one hand, the center moves, and the body follows. Let's change over to the other hand. Big circles. center that moves, and then everything else follows. Good, add in the other hand now. And you can see, if you notice carefully, they're not quite flat. So they're not just doing a circle like that. It's actually like a small sphere, right? Kind of stretched out, long shape, like a Mobius strip, right? The waist is soft. So any movement that happens in the hips gets transmitted through the rest of the body. Good, next one, we'll do this first swing again. So start off just in one place, shift the weight, turn the waist. Shift the weight, turn the waist. The waist turns, and that brings everything from one side to the other side. Good, and if you've got enough space, you can do like what we did in lesson 10. You can do the stepping, right? So when you step, it kicks the leg out and the waist turns. And that's the sound of just the arms lightly hitting the body. And just they move as far and as fast as they do, right? So you're not forcing anything, you're just letting the hands flow as the waist turns. Come back to center, and then slowly and just let the shoulders go completely. Nice, excellent. Very good. Okay, let's get straight on with the stretch. So we'll start with the necks. Big circles all the way around. We'll do full neck circles today. And the other way. Good. Bring one arm across, pull up, and stretching the triceps at the back of the arms here. Some people don't get a very strong sensation in this one, especially if you don't use your triceps a lot, so not doing push-ups and things. Then it can be quite hard to feel this stretch here. One of the things that I like to do is feel like the shoulder is pulling out a little bit, so you get that sense of expansion in the shoulder blade. Good. So hand comes across, pull, and then feel like you're almost like popping the shoulder out, and then you can feel it a lot further along the arm. Sometimes it also helps to rotate. So some people feel it a little bit more if they put a twist through the arm. Good. Okay, we'll do the calf stretch. So let's just have a little bit further look down so we can see what's happening. So one leg is bent, the other one is straight. Pull back the toe. And when you get into that position and everything, you can just feel the tension down the calf and hamstring. Just relax into that position. Good, okay, and then change other side. Bend the supporting leg, opposite hand on the knee, and then pull back the toe. If you can't get hold of the toe, you can get the ankle or the knee, just, so grabbing here, or even just here. The most important thing is that there's this straight leg, and you can feel it down the calf and hamstring, and that there's a stretch through there. Sometimes also people feel it in the lower back as well. That's fine. And just relax, breathe into the posture. Anywhere where you have tension, just breathe. Every time you breathe out, feel like it's relaxing a little bit. Good. Okay, next one. I'll just wipe that out of the way a little bit. Right. So go double shoulder width wide and come down a little bit, and then we're going to do a side lunge stretch. Right. So the most important thing here is that you don't have to go super low, so we don't have to go all the way down. Right. We just do enough so that you can feel that the hips are opening. So and that there's a stretch on what we call the yin meridian. So the tendons and muscles that run on the inside of the legs and up through the groin. So particularly the psoas muscle, the one that comes actually in through the hips. What you need to do is drive the hips out and rotate out and make sure the knee is not collapsing inwards. Yeah, and just sit in that posture for a little bit. Nice and tall, hips forward, back straight. Feel the opening, stretching of the meridians on the inside of the leg. Good, now change over to the other side, shift the weight back over to the other side, turn the feet out, sink down, open up, hips tall. And again, you can get this stretch without going to the extreme range of motion, because when you do that, it's much more in the ankle, other parts of the hip. What we're looking for is that sense of opening, yeah, so that the stretch is deep on the inside here, rather than just saying, can I go down all the way to my ankle, which is still a useful stretch. Hips up and tall, opening of the hips. Good. And then come back and we'll do our squat stretch. So just come all the way down, hips up, back straight, and just try and keep the heels down and sit back on them. You can put your feet inside and push your knees apart if you like, or some people also like, depending on how your body is constructed, how much weight there is at the front and the back, then sometimes it's helpful to balance by putting some arms forward, or people like up the top here. It just varies. So the most important thing is we get right down in the bottom position of this squat in a really stable position where the hips are down and the back is being pushed up, and we're lengthening and strengthening the spine, and at the same time strengthening the muscles in the hips and sinking right down on the heels so the ankles are being opened up. And once we get down there, we can move just a little bit. So flex, roll around those ankles position, just open up a little bit. Feel where the tension is. I'm just going to stay down a little bit longer. This is a really good stretch to do just for general health. Being able to squat is such an important skill, just for maintaining all of that flexibility and strength through the hips and the lower back. Good, and slowly up. Excellent. Okay, and if you've got any residual tension there, we'll just do a little bit of stretching off, so some hip circles, big circles, stretching all the way around. That's it. And the other way. Good, and we'll do the knees as well, so feet together, knees, and just hold onto the knees and do big circles, hopping around. And change direction and go the other way. Excellent. Okay, let's do our standing meditation now. Feet shoulder width apart, bend the knees, hips sunk, do a few gathering chi first. Sink the weight through the feet, whole foot in contact with the floor, ankles a little bit flexed, knees bent, hips sunk, belly relaxed, chest relaxed, head up, chin tucked, arms and fingers expanded, fingers slightly separated. Deep breath in. Good. Hands go down. Make a big ball down by your dantian, lower area down here. Deep breath in. Remember all the cues. Sink through the feet, ankles slightly flex, knees bent, hips lightly tucked under, belly relaxed, diaphragm relaxed, chest relaxed, shoulders down, chin slightly tucked, head up. Deep breath. Good. Breathe in. Hands floating like you've got two like footballs or basketballs that are floating in water. So your fingers are sort of slightly rounded, slightly turned out, and feeling like they're sort of bobbing on the surface tension of water. Good. And then just let that go. Come into the base position. Let the shoulders go a bit more. Let everything just relax a little bit more. Good, very good, excellent. Well, as per normal, I'm training and teaching throughout most of the day. So when I get to do my Qigong, I'm already very warm. So I start sweating almost straight away. It's very usual for to generate some heat in the body, especially once you really get the breathing working, which is what I wanted to talk about today. So breathing is so important for all of these postures. But like I said, we follow this very important Taoist principle, which is first separate, then combine. So we pull apart one thing. So we say, I'm going to work on the breathing. We really focus on that. And then we take the movement and we work on that. And then over time, once we're happy with each one, we bring them together. Yeah. But it's important to remember that the breath is an important thread that links the physical body to the mental body, right? So these two things are deeply connected through our process of breathing. And you can breathe in all sorts of different ways. So let's just do a little bit of our Qigong postures, and then I'll sit down and we'll do some breath work. So we'll do some seated breath work, so just sitting down and focusing on how to feel the breathing and what sort of different things we'll do. So we'll come back to this in a moment. All right, so to start with, let's do boat rowing in a stream of air, feet double shoulder width apart. Start slow, only a small bend. I need to be a little bit wider. And you can adjust this one. It's actually something that you can do. So if you don't want to go very deep, you can, so if you've only got, let's say you've got a low back problem, right? You could do it very small. And it's just waving at the top. Let's just do a few of these, right? Just so we feel the difference, right? So now I'm doing that same movement, but it's only the little top part of it. And that's just going to focus on the small of the back there. So I initiate from the back, like I'm sitting in a chair, rocking back, and then there. And I can just feel the few vertebrae in my lower back opening and closing, opening and closing, opening and closing. And then if we come back to our wide stance, now you can feel the difference, right? Now we're going to sit back a little bit more, and there's a little bit more leg, more glutes, more hip involved. But we've still got that movement at the top. And the spine is just generally being open, like this, right? So if you've got any disc issues or problems, obviously see a doctor first, I'm not a medical person. But this is a really nice thing that you can do to just lightly activate without putting unnecessary tension. If you can bend over even a little bit, then you can do this exercise. You can start to bring more strength and mobility to the lower back. And as you get warmed up, you can really start to sink into the hips. Just keep going. Good, one more. Good. Okay, bring the feet in. All right, let's spend the last 5 minutes or so just focusing on the breathing. So we'll sit down and then we can have a real chat and work through some little breathing techniques. Right, let's continue. And we're going to be doing some seated breathing meditation. So first of all, we'll do a couple of different exercises that you can do with the breath. But then I also want to just introduce an idea to you, which is an idea called sung, which is a sort of a feeling of softness without losing your structure. I'll post a link in the video below on an article that I've written about this. But it's when I'm talking about that feeling, like when your hands are up and that any additional relaxation would cause them to fall, right? So the feeling that they're just literally about to fall. And the Chinese, the description of it is like a purse that's holding some coins, and you just let it out the bottom and it just goes, it just falls and spreads out, which I think is a beautiful little poetic way of describing this feeling, which is this feeling of softness. So that's the type of feeling that we want when we're doing any of these movements. So we're just going to do a short sitting Qigong set coordinated with the breathing, and then we will finish off with some counted breaths, abdominal breaths. So if you're sitting in a chair, you can see I'm a bit low, so this would push me up and then push me back, right? So I'm just going to go with a sort of high cross legs, which is I'm perching on the edge of the seat, so I'm not lying back like this, in a good solid position. Feel that everything is flat, connected, and my spine is straight. So from this position, we'll get started, right? So first of all, hands come up, breathe out. Hands come together, just take a few breaths, settle and relax. In through the nose, out through the nose. One more. Push the hands up, straighten, look up, form a pyramid, open, and hands high. A little bit of a seated meditation position, seated Qigong position, like our standing. And just breathe in. Good. Breathe in. Hands come up, look up, form a larger pyramid, come down. Hands over the heart, so not just in front, just slightly to the side, over to the left. Open up, head up, chest relaxed, and deep abdominal breathing. As you breathe in, diaphragm descends, belly fills with air, and as you breathe out, belly contracts, belly relaxes, diaphragm comes up. Good, hands come together. Carry on straight through. Open. Head slightly raised now, looking up. Eyes open, everything expanding. Breathe in. Deep abdominal breathing. Good. Breathe in. And down. Just do one more here. Every time you breathe out, just feel like your heart and your feelings are just going to a relaxed, comfortable place. hands come down. Excellent. We'll do some abdominal breaths now. So just again to bring our awareness to the right location. The left hand is on top, the right hand goes over there, and we're going to breathe in and out. Yeah. So as you breathe in through the nose. Feel the air coming down through the throat. Exhale, it comes down the diaphragm, sinks, it opens and expands. The belly gets larger and expands. And then when the breath is full, it relaxes and contracts. Spine stays straight. This relaxes. Diaphragm comes back up. Air comes out through the nose again. Yeah. Belly expands in all directions. Breath is long, slow, soft, and full. Great. I'm going to count. Breathe in and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can open your eyes and you can continue if you like and do another 10, 20 breaths. If you feel like you want to continue, for the sake of the video, we're just going to close now. Hands separate, sit up nice and tall. Have a little shake if you've got any stiffness or anything, move a little bit. Good, excellent. So yeah, we mentioned a little bit about song, that feeling like you're like a bag of coins that's just about to spill open, which I think is a lovely little metaphor. The breath we talked about, deep, slow, long, full, but soft as well. Yeah, don't force anything with the breathing. There are techniques where you try and lengthen and extend the breath, but I tend to find that especially with beginners, you actually bring your mental tension to that and you start to breathe in a stiffer, sort of more rigid way. I actually think that just doing the counting and the practicing of the breath will lead to a deeper, fuller breath over time. And then the physical cues where you actually feel on the side or behind or on the belly can bring that awareness there. So those muscles that are associated with the breathing can begin to work. Excellent. I look forward to training with you. We're going to be in the new studio tomorrow, so which I've been working on for a while. So I'm really excited about to share that with you. So yeah, as always, please like, share and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.